People are suggesting that the former royal known as the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, is he dim or in fact simply devious? As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me on the very side of the historic River Thames. By the way, on this day, don't know if you know this, in 1788, none other than Sir Robert Peel was born. Now, if you know your history lessons, chums, you will know, of course, that this man was the man responsible for creating what we now know to be the British police force. Some people might say, of course, he'd be reeling when you see all the problems with the inclusivity and wokeness that have gone on. But of course, at the start of this, they were known as Peelers and really were very much welcomed by the Queen at the time, of course, Queen Victoria, seemingly because at that point she could see that crime was rising and something needed to be done. And as I say, he became a Sir. We've a lot to thank Sir Robert Peel for. He did a lot, and of course there's a lot about him on history if you want to know more. I always find these people fascinating, do you? Some people might find this man fascinating. Prince Harry, of course, the former well known as the Duke of Sussex. Now, recently, you'll know, chums, we haven't had a wave, have we? Sorry, recently, no, I'm slipping here, aren't I? You do need to remind me and tell me off, you know. Yes, busy day today, as you can imagine. But recently, Harry's had this sort of fake victory in the courts regarding the battle for tabloids and all that sort of stuff, you know, alleged phone hacking, that sort of stuff. The only thing he didn't really get out of it, what I found odd, was yes, he got an apology for his late mother, the beautiful Diana, Princess of Wales, and for himself to a degree, but none for his wife, Meghan Markle. One might say that's because it's very hard to pin down exactly what they're apologising for. But if you remember, he also popped up on a TV show, Tabloids on Trial, which I told you about ITV were thinking of following up upon, but then that all seemed to go a little bit pear-shaped too. It featured the likes of one-time famous singer Charlotte Church and, of course, the Four Weddings and a Funeral actor Hugh Grant. Now, what's interesting about this is when they came to filming the programme, this really all fell apart because, as we now know, so many settled out of court. Basically, Hugh Grant, who'd been one of these people and has a moniker on social media called Hacked Off You, and a very sort of an attacker of the British media. I've interviewed him on a couple of occasions. It depends on what day you get him. Some days he's nice, some days he's not. I would say it's the latter, but you know, there you go, seemingly all right at points. Like a lot of actors, they think they're far bigger than they are, and that's part of the problem. But nonetheless, Hugh claims he had a problem with the tabloids. Well, again, if you do get caught on Sunset Boulevard with a lady called Divine, you might have, but that's your problem. A little like Prince Harry, of course, getting caught with his clothes off over in Las Vegas. But again, not allowed to mention that, you see. Now, where it gets really fascinating is this, because clearly they'd all settled out of court. And Hugh Grant pointed out that he'd settled for the simple fact that he was advised he wouldn't necessarily be able to cover the costs. It will be the court costs. Now, as we know, Prince Harry allegedly came away with a substantial amount, gearing up to anywhere from 5 million, 10 million to 17 million. I would say it's in the middle ground, to be brutally honest, and the lawyers will do the best out of this. However, at that point, apparently, Harry carried on because he believed, according to this source, that these people wouldn't back down, and that's the reason why he pushed ahead. And then he sort of was cornered and then said, you know, I'm the only one now that can solve this problem. That's the reason why I'm carrying on. You get the picture. Or, as another source pointed out to me, his plan was always going to be this. It was a veiled threat, even when he sat down with the New York Times and basically said, you know, I'm pushing ahead, I'm not going to give in. Now, whatever he thought he was going to win, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, whatever he thought he was going to win seemingly wasn't the amount that he's now come away with. The bigger problem now is Harry's bill for the legal team is phenomenal. And while he may want to try, as I told you previously, and press ahead with criminal charges on a personal level, that's not happening anytime soon. But as I said at the start of the video, was Prince Harry seemingly devious or indeed dim to carry on? Which version of events now do you believe? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.